Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead, sitting here with a great friend of mine, Ms. Lippy.
With Gemini Homestead.
Yes. And guys, look, Deep South will probably never be the same again.
Yep.
We talked to y'all early in the year. If you remember on my videos, I told you there was change coming to Deep South Homestead. Well, it has come.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here.
And guys, we have laughed so much, I think I have cramps in my face.
Do you?
Yeah. You ever had those?
Yeah, I've had them, but that was many years ago. I've exercised since then.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't get to exercise much at our age.
No, I work these jobs.
Do you? Okay, we don't ever... I see the face in the background agreeing with that, so I guess that's probably all right.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Deep South now that you've been here?
It is more than what I could ever dreamed of. I mean, really and truly, it's not Deep South. I mean, yeah, y'all see Deep South. I see Deep South. Actually, I see a labor of love. There is not a spot on this property that you don't feel that was built by this man's hands. And Wanda over there behind the camera. That's, you asked me, and that's what I feel. That's the sense I get from here. This is real, guys. This is real. What you see, it's real.
So you would agree that what's going on around here is really not fake homesteading?
You got that right. The only thing I plant is carrots, and I just said that before the camera come on, because I have spent majority of the time just Wanda and I guess being women. Now Buddy and Danny have worked and worked, but I've just taken it all in, and I have talked with Wanda. We have had some of the best conversations, sharing stories, but this is the real deal. You don't get any more real than this. I'm just telling you, I just didn't do anything but plant carrots. But the day's not over.
No,
the day's not over.
The day's still young.
Yeah, there's still work left in me.
Yeah, we just got to find it.
I just got to find it.
Yeah.
I'm having a ball. I'm sorry, I'm having a ball. I came to work.
Well, you did work for a while in a carrot bed.
Yes, I did.
We planted how many of them things?
A lot.
A lot. Wasn't it like 3 of them we planted? 3, 4 by
2.
16 carrot beds.
1, 2.
No, I take that
4,
back.
no.
You were only involved in 2.
I was only involved in
well,
2.
I'm technically only involved in 1, but
True, but
Buddy and I planted the other 2.
I participated in cheering y'all on.
Yeah, on 1.
On 1, and then we had to go in and cook lunch.
Yeah, y'all had to fix lunch. Oh, great comeback. I like that.
Well, we did.
Okay.
Wanda's over there, y'all. She's getting me in trouble.
Yeah, Wanda's getting us all tickled up over here.
Yeah.
Okay, and Buddy got that look on his face like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We went in it.
Yeah.
Something.
yeah. I mean, Wanda's giving you away over there. Y'all went in at 9:20 or 9:30. Buddy and I didn't get through with the carrots until what, lunch?
At least.
At least lunch.
It was a long prep job.
That was a long prep job. Yeah.
We washed dishes.
Is our house that dirty?
No, I washed dishes from breakfast. Remember, I ate breakfast here too. Y'all, I've been eating good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Well, that's one thing about the Deep South Homestead. If you come to our place, you live high on the hog.
You do.
If that's an actual phrase that you
I think it is.
Is that a correct
Yeah, that was
term?
some good hog I ate too.
It was actually a hog, wasn't
Yes,
it?
that was hog I ate
Okay,
this morning.
It was a hog.
It was yummy. Get smart. I'm gonna get that app.
Oh, you'll get an education.
What?
Yeah, we'll give you an app.
I'm gonna get that app.
Yeah.
I'm getting that app.
Good.
That way, when I mess up, I just don't have to throw the whole thing away or hit delete.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I never can make it as good the next time.
Never really. That's what makes. I mean, YouTube is really. There's lots of editing that goes on in YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true.
when you've done it as long as Wanda and I have, I can watch a video and I know instantaneously, what's happening in the background. I mean, when you've done it, you can see the people's eyes. You can watch where their eyes are moving or anything like that. You can tell if there's somebody in the background or doing something or whatever. There's all these little tricks that you pick up on over the years.
And yep.
The more you do it, the better.
The better it's gonna get. Yeah. Besides just start and stop.
Yeah, you got to have a thick skin.
I got a thick skin. I just got a.
Stuff's just got to roll off your back like water off a duck's back.
I got thick skin.
Yeah.
But I got loose lips. And YouTube's made me be accountable though for it. It's actually made me realize that, you know what, it's okay to just be quiet sometimes. It's okay just to let the what I call the evil and the haters just pass me on by. I don't have to say a word.
Right.
I do not have to defend myself. I just got to turn my shoulder and look a different direction.
Yeah.
And that's what YouTube's made me be accountable for my own weaknesses.
Right.
To be honest with you. And I appreciate that.
What do you have going at your homestead?
Right now, I've got carrots.
Do you?
I've got winter radish. I've got butternut squash. I've got red cabbage, purple cabbage, collard greens, tender mustard. I have, of course, our lettuce bed. I call it the rabbit bed.
Yeah.
And then we have a few cauliflower and, of course, my short day onions. And there's a story. A friend of mine did not realize living in the South, you're supposed to have short day onions. Imagine me trying to explain that story.
I can only imagine.
All I said was it's because I was told to.
Great.
Years ago, that was my, just listen.
Just listen.
And then I think we have some broccoli too, don't we, buddy? So we've got
actually got more than we got, probably.
But it's in a, it's enough for us.
Yeah.
And then to put up.
Well.
And that's my winter garden.
Well, it's been so dry here. Actually, you saw the few broccolis, and I think we got a few cabbages. And
yeah, you've got some cabbages.
And that's collards right there, and then maybe a few cabbages in that. And I just planted all of our crops, cover crops. And what we do is I take my cover crops from my gardens. It's like a multi-purpose thing. Okay, it's a food plot for deer.
Right.
They get to come eat. We also plant stuff that we can eat in it. And they're all greens. They're tender greens. They're purple top turnips. They're kale. They're rape. They're all these things.
We got purple top turnips planted. Yep.
And so we have all that in the cover crops. And during the winter, we'll come out and actually harvest greens off of them for us to eat. If we want to can some, we can them. But the deer get to eat also. We get to eat the deer. And then in the spring, we'll harvest the turnip roots if we want any of them to put with our turnips. And then we just turn it all under and it's green manure. It goes under.
Yeah.
So, but technically, you probably have more planted per capita than we do. Because we haven't planted any of our garlic yet. We haven't planted any onions yet. Usually by now we have all that stuff in the ground. We're getting ready to do strawberries by this time of the year, but because of the drought, we can't do it.
Yeah, the drought actually set y'all back, and I think it set us back. But when I noticed that our cooler temperatures started coming in, I said, okay, if I water to get it a jump start, then the rain actually started coming in, and I'm seeing germination. I'm actually seeing great results. So I think I hit that sweet spot. But if I would have planted just a week prior, I don't think I'd have had the good results.
You probably wouldn't have.
And I just don't think that I would, because it just wasn't lined up. It was too dry and too hot. And as soon as it hit that little first dip, I went ahead and planted. So even though the temperatures came up, they were still okay.
Oh yeah, the seed needs warm.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as the temperatures decreased, they were already coming up because of the heat. So I think my timing this year was perfect.
Good. Well, in your opinion, what do you think about the food crisis in this country? What's going on? Literally. Have you seen the agricultural reports on anything?
Nope. Well, yes and no. I'm hearing a lot from people. I have seen some of the shelves empty. But in my opinion, and some people may not like my opinion, I think the food crisis is by government control. I don't feel that there's actually a crisis, say, within the communities or the counties or the parishes or the states.
Right.
But I think it's government control because it's not getting shipped in to house. It's being housed in other areas for other purposes.
Right.
I personally don't, because when I think of crisis, I think of there's massive crop failures we have.
Yeah.
But I've seen them worse than that in the years that I've grown up. I've seen it in worse shape.
Yes.
Now, yes, we had less population than we do today.
Right.
But I also know that they're being able to put fillers in food. They're able to outsource food in. Okay, so my mind tells me, well, now we've got the access to outsource food in. So the crisis to me was still worse years back. I just personally think there's not, as a whole, we're not in a crisis. I think we're in a crisis by government fed.
Yeah, because actually, what I see going on is, and I totally agree with you, because there's been years in this country that we've had just as bad of weather as we've had.
Yes, sir.
We've had just as many crop failures as we've had.
Yes, sir.
Now this year, I will give the agricultural department the benefit of the doubt on one thing. That is, they have put out some information that's really close. I'm not going to say it's accurate.
Right.
Because the latest that I was able to find out the other day is that literally this year we will only in this country harvest at a maximum now 53% of everything that was planted of our land. Because what happened early spring, it was too wet. Nobody could get anything in the ground.
Yes.
And
Central United States suffered hard.
Central United States suffered hard. We had the floods in Nebraska.
Right.
And we've had now. They got planted late, even though they planted by airplane. A lot of stuff was planted by airplane instead of by tractors. It takes X number of days for something to mature. Okay. The cold came early this year.
Right.
I mean, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Washington State, and all them up in there, they've already had 30-something inches of snow on fields that were never harvested. They never matured. So right now, this year, 2019, I believe, is a turning point.
I think next year's going to be our.
Next year will be like somebody, like you're right, will be slapped in the face.
I mean, that's the way I see it.
Yeah. The actual.
This is the year that we should have prepared.
Yes.
Because it was already out there. It was being already teased.
Yeah, well, there's still enough stored back
That's
right
right.
now that people could do that.
Could. But next year,
Yeah.
you're going to be slapped.
Yeah. Next year, as a matter of fact, I'll put it to you the way it was put to me. 2019 was supposed to be the last good year we had of growing.
And I would agree with that.
And if this was a good year.
And I suck at the first part. I'm doing great, but it's still early. But I'm going to tell you what, we had to outsource and purchase from farmers in order to put up.
Right. And well, like us, we had to
Because
go.
of the conditions that I was enduring, just like you and
Yeah.
so many other people.
Yeah, so I mean, we had to literally go to a U-picket, and
Yes,
when I
sir,
went to that U-picket, I told them, I said, I was out there. You can ask Wanda. I had a pocket knife cutting plastic. I wanted to see what was going on under there. I wanted to know what they was doing. And I figured out the drip irrigation system. I figured out the plastic. Because everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's the sun. The sun's burning up everything." Well, I will agree with that to a point.
Right.
Because we moved our stuff out of containers and put them in the shade, where they only get like 6 hours of sun a day, and then the rest of it's in shade. Well, when you don't have drip irrigation to keep that plant supplied with water underneath the soil, to keep the root system wet enough, the sun's going to pull so hard against it, it's going to bake and kill the plant.
That's right. That's right.
Because these fields we went to, they're 100-acre fields, and they're out in the middle. There is no trees.
Yeah, I saw that. There was no
There's
trees.
nothing.
So what was they thinking? So it was drip irrigation.
It's drip
underneath.
irrigation. The
Right.
nutrition is going through that drip irrigation. They're watering them and fertilizing them through the drip irrigation system under the black plastic in the dirt, and the black plastic's not allowing the sun to pull the moisture out of the ground. So these plants have plenty of moisture, and they're actually doing great. Now the disease did set in on them. Just like it did on ours, they did still have diseases because there's laws on U-pick places that actually govern when you can put pesticides on something and how bad the insects have to be in the crop before you can actually use a pesticide. I mean, that is set into place, and that's really a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think next year will be, I'm going to call it the awakening.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because this year was an awakening to me because of the drought. And people we keep getting all these, and I know guys, some of y'all are sending this stuff to me, going like, well, I thought we was going into a solar minimum. It's supposed to be colder than it's ever been. We're going into a mini ice age. Well, if you listen to what I've told you all the way along, a solar minimum is about weather extremes. It's about when it's hot.
You sure about
It's going to
this?
be
'Cause
hotter.
Right now, I feel like I'm in an ice age over
And when
here
it's
in the
cold,
deep
it's
south.
going to be colder.
I ain't gonna lie to
I'm
y'all.
sitting here. You guys see me with a.
Y'all don't see me shaking?
I'm sitting here now. My hands are so good. Look at my hands.
Look.
I mean, my hands. I look like I'm old. I am old, but I mean, I'm not. I mean, they look like they're really
Yeah,
old.
mine too. And this one's burnt. Look at that cat. Hey, is that?
Oh, you got a callus.
Look, that's a working hand.
That's a working
okay?
hand
All
right
right, y'all
there.
gonna have to wrap this
Look
up.
at this.
Y'all gonna freeze
That's
to
a-
death.
Look at this.
She has calluses
He
on her
is
hand.
my witness. That's a working hand.
That's a working hand.
People, this hand
Yeah.
works. I just don't work in mass amounts of stuff, but I work.
Yeah.
And something else. Doesn't matter if you don't have a large acreage.
No.
Outsource. Danny and Wanda had to outsource
Yeah.
because of the elements that they fought. That's what we do. Make it work for yourself. You
How
don't
large
have
is
to
your
grow.
homestead?
My homestead is an acre and a quarter.
Acre and a quarter, guys.
Yes, sir.
And they prepare, they stock up, they store up, they grow their own food. It is possible to
Yes,
do.
it is.
It is possible.
And what
to
we
do.
can't grow, we purchase.
You purchase.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
The biggest thing you've taken out of everything that you've learned through YouTube and everything else is basically, I'm gathering, it's just the knowledge.
Yes, the new way.
The new way.
Because my old way, the old way stopped working.
Right.
And that's what introduced me to YouTube is because something was wrong.
Hmm.
What I was doing was broke.
Right.
You know, I always say, don't
If it ain't
fix
broke, don't fix
That's
it.
exactly right. Well, my method was breaking on me.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing me. So I outsourced to YouTube
Hmm.
to find the problem. And I found out that it's the elements. I had to change my way of gardening. I had to introduce a lot of things to shade that before didn't need shade.
Right.
I went to raised beds. I went to containers. But I did do something that I am guilty of, and I will admit to you and everybody. I also tried the new way of no chemicals.
Right.
This, for me, this is just
Yeah.
my homestead. It did not work. My old way was not broke. The
Right.
way I was doing it, and I was comfortable with it. I did go back to my way.
Hmm.
That's just my preference
Right.
on my homestead. Because I lost more than I had ever lost.
Yeah.
Going in certain, you can go extreme in anything.
You can. Yeah.
And so I figured if I'm going to change out this, why don't I just change too? You know, people say it worked.
Yeah.
I didn't get to be 54 by being a follower. So I went on back and started being the leader again, and my stuff's working again. It's
Yeah.
just what works for me.
It's what works for you. Oh, it's like we're noticing. We were watching Gilbert Farms the other day. I
Mhm.
like Jeremy and his wife Jamie, and he uncovered a box of rod chairs that he had there, and they're out. They just dozered the whole top of the mountain off.
Yep.
And when he uncovered that box of rod chairs, stink bugs was literally covered up that box up underneath there, guys. This year,
They were hitting him in his face. on
yeah,
the
they were
interview.
flying into him while he was out there working.
Right.
And this year, we've had more trouble with stink bugs on our place than we've ever had. So, the insect population, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
I mean, it's still flourishing. You know, there's nothing wrong with the weeds. The weeds have grown this
You
year.
know what they said about the stink bugs?
What's that?
I did some research. They actually was brought in 2004 in crates.
Really?
Yes, sir. And over from the east side.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not harmful. Like they'll get in your house when it gets cold and all.
They will, yeah.
They're not going to really. Now, if your dog ate one, it might get a little tummy ache,
Yeah.
but it's not going to do anything. But they said the reason why we've had a mass amount this year is because the extreme heat on the East Coast
Forced them.
forced them back out of being dormant, and that's why they're everywhere. And of course, it's the heat.
Yeah.
But the last time that we had it was in 2011, and
Okay.
we're in now 19.
Yeah.
And they say if you look at, but the heat is actually what brought all this back about on the east side.
Wow.
But they didn't start till was it 94, not 2004, excuse me, in 94.
In 94.
In 94, excuse me. Yeah. And that's about right, because the first
Yeah.
time I ever saw a stink bug was in the late 90s, myself. But it was in 94 is when a stink bug actually, it was a big old article I read the other day.
That's
in the
interesting.
newspaper. Yeah, and so I researched, and I think I mentioned it on one of my lives or one of my videos or something, because I found that to be very fascinating.
That is fascinating.
And and I looked back to see, and it has to do with the extreme heats to the east. And they said certain bugs and pests will arise on the East Coast during certain years of high temps. And you hear about there's a lot of homesteaders that live on the East Coast that has really battled high temps and high humidity, which is two things that they're not used to.
Right.
And 19 was one of them.
That's right.
So it made sense to me.
It makes sense. And this year has been a year of the cicadas here. I mean, they started in June here this year.
Yep. And y'all have cicada killers here?
The big red?
The big old.
I call it a cow ant. Looks like a giant.
No, the
Look like hornets.
looks like big old hornets, and they live in the ground. I did a video.
Yeah, we've got those. I know, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the
they
big
kill the
They got like
locusts.
the rings
Cicada
on their
killers.
tails. They
Yeah,
got the
cicada
rings.
killers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were everywhere. You see them swarming on the ground in places. Yes.
But they won't hurt you, but the
No,
female will.
the female will bite.
The female will chase you.
Yeah.
She is,
Yeah.
she's tough. I know she chased me all around my yard.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want you, man. She had about 15 of them, and they'd be digging. I got a video where I got bored and decided, and I realized she's a female. You're sitting here up close and personal, but she didn't bother me. But let me tell you what, when I did figure it out, I backed on off and got out of there. But she will chase you.
Oh, yeah.
And the males don't bother you.
Yeah.
But they're everywhere this year. Everywhere.
Yeah, we was noticing here that we had an abundance of them.
Yes.
We sit down here I sit here lots of times trying to do a video or do porch time, and they're so loud in the backgrounds that if we didn't have an editing program where we could take some of the background noise out, I don't know that you could hear me talking.
What about wasps?
Wasps this
year?
year?
You noticed a decrease?
Yes, this year we did not hardly have any wasp nests anywhere.
Neither did we.
We hardly had anywhere.
Neither did we. And
Literally.
why is that? Because
I don't know.
Like
the old man across the road has passed away now. One year I was out working in my fence row, and I kept getting in wasp nests in the grass down by the fence row. And I told him, I said, Mr. Leo, I said, I don't know. I said, what's going on here? And he said, son, it's going to be a bad winter. And I told him, I said, what do you mean? He said, those wasps are down on the ground. He said, when it's not going to be a bad winter, they're up in the trees and they're up under the houses and everywhere. They're mainly out in the trees. Like he said, you cut an old big pine tree down, a lot of times in the top of it would be a big old giant wasp nest. And I said, yeah, I've cut a lot of trees and have wasp nests in them.
There we go.
And he said those were mild summers, mild winters. That's how you can always tell. And I told him, now I don't know whether that's true or not.
Well,
I have no clue. I guess we'll know after this year because there ain't no wasps.
Because, and I don't have permission to mention, their channel, but there's a channel I was just having this conversation with. Could actually ask the wife of the channel about a week ago about wasps. They live central east. I don't know what you call it, about central. And she said that she was told something about if the wasps go really far up, that she understood it to be a mild winter.
A mild winter, yeah.
So now there's 3 people that has heard the same story.
Right.
Then I would say there is a section of truth.
I believe,
if it would have just been you that heard it, who knows?
Yeah, I've always just
me.
kept it in my background of my mind.
No, sir. So you're speaking to someone, and I can actually speak on behalf of this person that has heard the same thing, which is of no relation to us.
No relation to us, but from a totally different location.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm from North Louisiana. You're from South Mississippi, and to be honest with you, she's from South Tennessee.
Yeah, so
now
there's got to be an element of truth
something
to it.
Exactly.
These old people knew stuff that they just didn't pass on down to us.
So, and I think we're going to have a winter.
Well, it's shaping up to be. It's already started that way. I mean, we've already had the coldest winter in the Northwest that we've ever had.
Like, really, we need a fire and some hot chocolate. I need
right now, don't we?
Like, look at my nose.
I know.
It ain't been running no more, y'all. The running done left. It froze.
We're in deep south, and we were just on 100 and something degree temperature, and now we're Wanda's sitting back here all bundled up. I've got my hand laying between my legs here because I can feel it.
I'm telling you,
it is 60 freaking degrees.
I don't believe you.
It's 60 degrees.
Can't be.
It can't be.
It can't be.
What degrees is it?
We're like, well, we're gonna get
Because
Buddy in the background
If
to pull it up.
60 does this to us, we'll die at 45.
Hey, look, and I don't think she would mind me mentioning it. Dirt Patch came here
Yep.
from Idaho, where it gets 50 below.
Oh yeah,
And-
like really bad.
It was in the 40s here, and she like froze to death.
It's a well now, y'all. I remember being in South Louisiana. 60 degrees was cold to us because it's a different humidity. It's a wet cold.
Showing 66.
It's 60.
66.
They're
There's
lying.
no.
Y'all got a
no.
thermometer around
I don't
there?
have my phone. But
I ain't got no phone either.
I guarantee you, there's a thermometer hanging on that wall right there. It'd be
Maybe our
27.
body's in shock.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm cold sitting here. Wanda's all bundled up. I'm wearing a, flannel shirt. She's got a.
Look, I got 2 shirts, a jacket. Look at this. I'm cold.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Before our health deteriorates any further.
We need coffee.
We need coffee, cocoa, fire, something. I don't
Yes.
know.
Ooh,
We're gonna call it a wrap. What do you think?
that's fine with me. Wasn't it fun?
It was fun.
It
though.
was fun.
It was fun, guys. It's always fun with Ms. Lippy here, sitting down talking.
It's not gonna be my last either, y'all. I got carrots to come check on.
That's right. She planted a bed of carrots up
Yep.
there, the Yellowstone carrots, and we're gonna see just how they do.
I think they're gonna do okay.
I hope they do.
I got a good instructor here, y'all. Got a good instructor. This was fun.
Oh, it was fun. Okay, guys. Thank y'all for watching. And look, go check out Gemini Homestead. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. Lady's got a lot of funny stories. She's got a lot of good information. She does some awesome cooking, some awesome canning. Go check her out and subscribe to us. Hit the notification button because we're always putting up something. You
Oh,
never
yes.
know what's going to happen at Deep South Homestead.
Never.
I told you change was coming. It has come. And now we shall see what the end results will be.
Yes.
Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.